The real estate market may feel a bit confusing right now, especially with so many different articles circulating online. Treb recently released their Market Watch report, which breaks down all the sales and pricing data for the month and compares it on a year-over-year basis. While year-over-year data can be helpful in certain ways, I typically prefer to look at the market on a month-over-month basis to better understand the current environment and how conditions are changing in real time. From a bird's eye view, the market has been pretty quiet, to be honest. It's completely normal for the winter months to be quieter, particularly as we approach the end of the year and into the holiday season. In this report, we'll review pricing trends, as I said before, months of inventory, overall sales activity, and which asset classes have performed the strongest and which ones performed the weakest. That may shock you, so continue watching. The goal is to give you a clear and accurate understanding of what's actually happening in the market. My name is Trey, folks, and I'm a realtor here in the city of Toronto who loves helping amazing people just like you buy, sell, and rent real estate here in our city. If you like this type of content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Now, let's get into it. If you're familiar with the channel and you follow along, you may notice that the environment here is a little different. I'm not at the office. My partner and I, we just moved into a new condo and we're getting everything set up, hence why I don't have the mic. So I hope that the sound quality is fine for this video, but we're going to be getting things back on track and I wanted to get this market update out there for you. In Toronto, the average price of a detached home came in at $1.545 million in November 2025. Semi-detached properties rounded out the month with an average sale price of $1.187 million. Townhouses, those are up next, and they recorded an average sale price of $870,000, while condos averaged $701,000 for an average sale price in the city of Toronto for November 2025. On a year-over-year basis, detached properties experienced the largest price decline, dropping by approximately 9%. Semi-detached homes followed as the next weakest performing category. Townhouses performed slightly better than the semi-category, while condo prices were essentially unchanged year over year. Now, this may come as a surprise to many people, especially given the volume of headlines suggesting that the condo market is down and out and really struggling. It's important to note that much of this negative coverage actually focuses on the new construction condo sale market and the micro condo units, which are obviously very hard for the regular person to live in. Anything that has a good floor plan or a 2-bedroom unit that, again, has good square footage and is functional, those units are still selling. I've mentioned it already, but overall sales activity throughout 2025 has been quite slow, and a significant portion of demand has actually shifted to the rental market. So as a quick side note, when you combine both rentals and resale transactions, the city of Toronto actually saw more completed transactions happen in 2025 compared to the past 2 years. So from Q1 to Q3 of this year, approximately 105,000 units changed hands between buyer and seller versus 100,000 units last year in 2024 and 92,000 units the year before that in 2023. So this clearly shows that demand hasn't completely disappeared, right? It's just simply shifted from the buying and selling market to more of the rental market. Before wrapping up pricing, I want to look at what happened on a month-over-month basis. From October to November, detached properties declined by 4.5%, semi-detached homes dropped by 2.6%, and townhouses fell by 2.2% month-over-month. Condos were the only asset class that saw a very, very slight increase during this period. And again, it's very typical when we are going from September and October into November and December for sales and prices to be softer. What's interesting is that the month-over-month declines were actually more pronounced last year when looking at prices. If you look at the data on my screen, townhouses were down approximately 12.5% month-over-month at the same time period last year, while both semi-detached and detached properties declined in the 4% to 5% range when looking at average price. Now let's shift gears and look at the months of inventory for November 2025. Across the entire GTA, the market is sitting at 4.9 months of inventory, which signals that we're in a balanced market overall. As a reminder, anything in the 4 to 6 month range is considered to be a balanced market. Inventory above 6 months indicates that we're in a buyer's market, while 3 months or less represents a seller's market. In the city of Toronto, semi-detached properties and townhouses remain firmly in a seller's market where they've been most of the year. Condos, which briefly sat at the high end of a balanced market last month, have now moved back into the typical buyer's market fashion with 6.06 months of inventory, and detached homes in the city of Toronto are also in balance, coming in at 4.27 months of inventory. So why is this important? Months of inventory helps us understand how competitive each asset class is, which directly influences how you you will structure your offer, specifically which conditions to include and how aggressive your pricing can be. For example, if you're shopping for a condo in the city of Toronto, today's market allows you to undercut the list or recent sale price by 20, 30, 40, or even $50,000 in some cases, without that offer being perceived as unreasonable or a slap in the face. With a seller who understands current market conditions, you can often still receive a sign back and negotiate from there. A few years ago, coming in that far below asking would likely have shut the door entirely for you. Today, it's a much healthier and more forgiving environment, especially for first-time home buyers, where buyers are firmly back in the driver's seat. And again, even better if you're the only offer at the table. When looking at year-to-date sales across the entire GTA, there have been 58,700 transactions through the first 11 months of the year. By comparison, last year saw 66,200 transactions from January through November, and that was a year that was really slow as well. We're sitting well below the 10-year running average of approximately 89 to 90,000 home sales. Having fewer sales than 2023, which was the worst year on record for sales in like over 2 decades, is a difficult stat to digest. So why have sales remained so low? The explanation is pretty straightforward. Trade-related uncertainty, mounting job losses, a stalled economy, and the various other headwinds that we've faced throughout the year have caused many buyers and sellers to feel uneasy and remain on the sidelines. The people who are moving right now tend to be extremely financially secure, confident in their job stability, and not overly concerned about potentially being laid off. In many cases as well, these buyers have been planning to move for some time, and with prices having come down and market conditions being far more balanced, it's becoming a much better environment to transact in. As a result, those who are well positioned are feeling confident enough to jump back into the GTA and Toronto real estate market. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you later, hopefully with a microphone.